Life can suck. I mean, stuff happens to you that absolutely breaks you, and you have no idea why it's happening to you or how you're going to get through it. But I'm telling you, you can get through it. The problem is that no one shares their brokenness on social media. But I'm about to share with you one of the most broken times in my life, because 2020 has broken some people to the point where they don't think they can come back from it. But I'm telling you right now that there is light at the end of the tunnel. 2020 wasn't the worst year that I've had. Almost 2 years ago, I was broken. And I can't actually remember the last time I was this broken, like probably when my dad died. I recorded this video that I'm about to share with you when it happened. I believed everything that I was saying in the video, but I couldn't bring myself around to sharing it. You can see the intensity when you watch the video of my face that I do believe what I'm saying, but I couldn't upload it because, to be honest, I didn't know what it was going to turn out like. But now 2 years on, it's really cool to be able to see it and be like, yeah, no, you just have to believe that you'll get through. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what happened this year, I'm telling you now, it does get better. So have a watch of this video, and I hope it can have the same impact on you as it had on me. So you're going through hell, and it feels like life has punched you in the face, and you don't want to get back up. Well, let me join you, because I am going through that exact same storm that you're going through. Those feelings of anxiety, that doubt, that uncertainty, I'm feeling it as well. And that's what makes this message all so much more powerful, because it's easy for people to deliver a message on something that they've been through. But right now, I'm in the thick of it with you. So when I look at the camera and I speak and I say, it's going to be okay, you're going to get through this, it's going to get better. I actually don't know the future, but all I have is to believe that it's going to be true. You see, when you're going through tough times in life, when life is throwing hooks and punches and jabs and roundhouse kicks in your face, it feels like you don't want to get back up. It feels like you're broken. It feels like you're being in the middle of the fire. And that's what it is. It's like a sword. When a sword gets made, what they do is they take metal and they melt the metal. They melt it so hot that the metal goes from a solid into a liquid. And that's what happens to us when we're going through tough times, is that we feel like we're in the fire, we're melting, we're broken, and we don't know what to do. But what happens when they make the sword is that the metal becomes a liquid, and they pour it into what they call a mold. And that liquid forms a shape of the sword. And that's what happens when we get broken, when we go through tough times. That's the time where you get molded and you get shaped, and you can choose what kind of mold you're going to be. You need to be grounded in something. You need to be anchored. If you're not grounded, when that storm comes, you'll get swept away through the drugs or the alcohol or the partying or whatever instant gratification you want. But if you're grounded and you're locked into something, whether it's your goals or faith or family, that's going to mold you and shape you into an amazing weapon. And what they do with the sword is, once it's in the mold, they let it dry. And once they let it dry, do you know what they do? They start to heat it up again, and they put it back on the fire, and then they hit it with a hammer, and then they cool it, and they put it back on the fire, and then they hit it with the hammer again, and they cool it again. And that's like us. When we're going through tough times, it feels like we're being beaten, and we're getting knocked down, and we get back up, and we get knocked down again. And it feels like it's hurting us. But do you know why they do that to the sword? It's called tempering. And they're actually making the sword stronger so it can last longer in battle. So when you're going through a tough time and you feel like you've gone through and you get knocked back down again, know that that's making you stronger for the future. And then what they do with the sword, after they've finished tempering it, they start to grind. They grind and they sharpen the sword. What that's doing is it's cutting off all the loose material, all the unnecessary parts of the sword that's not needed. And that's like you. After you go through your struggles, you're going to find yourself cutting things from your life. Certain people who are bad influence, you'll cut them out. You'll lose relationships which weren't necessarily healthy for you. And it might feel like a loss. It might feel painful at the time. But at the end of the day, it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you sharper. And it's going to make you better. And then at the end of the day, after they've finished sharpening and grinding the sword, they polish it, and they're left with a super amazing piece of art, an amazing weapon that has the power to take life or save it. And that's like you. You can choose what you do through the situation that you're in. You're not defined by your situations, but you're defined by how you handle the situation. So what are you going to do when you're going through tough times? Are you going to just get swept away, or are you going to anchor yourself into something that means something to you and let it shape and mold you into a powerful weapon?